Number one, accepting things as they are. Before, I used to believe if I wanted it badly enough, I could change things to suit me. I was never content with how things just were. I also believed how I perceived things was how things really were. However, I don't believe this anymore. Things just exist as they are, regardless of how I perceive them or wish them to change. Turns out, I was just projecting what was wrong with me onto others. Number two, enjoy simplicity. I hadn't realized it, but I was the one who kept making my life difficult and complicated. I wanted things to be a certain way, and if they weren't, I was in a state of suffering. Things would only be better once I fixed everything that was wrong. To my surprise, through meditation and being still, I realized life is not that complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated if I don't want it to be so. I embrace simplicity now. I think to myself, things are fine just the way they are. There is nothing to fix, nothing to suffer about. Number three, practicing non-judgment. As I mentioned before, I was constantly judging others, myself, and things around me. Now I try to practice non-judgment and try to see things as they are. I accept that I will never do this perfectly because I'm just human, but I'm happy to try. In my youthful ignorance, I thought this meant I had to be a holy saint or something. I couldn't imagine loving others so unconditionally. Wasn't human nature originally selfish? Why should everyone deserve my unconditional love? What I didn't understand was that compassion for others began with compassion for myself. I judged others as hard as I judged myself. Everything wrong with me had to be changed, and only then could I love myself. If I couldn't even love myself, how could I have any love for others? It wasn't until I started the hard journey of loving myself and treating myself with kindness despite my flaws that I was able to find compassion for others. Just as I realized that I am flawed, I realized so is everyone else. It's because I'm flawed that I deserve my love and compassion. I started to gradually see people's flaws not as flaws, but just part of human nature. Who was I to judge others' nature, their own struggles and tribulations? I found it easier to have compassion for others rather than judgment. I found more peace and happiness in compassion than in judgment. When I judged others, I felt resentment, and I thought negative things like, is the world just filled with people like this? When I had compassion and love for others, I started to have a different view. I thought, wow, people are amazing. They work so hard despite adversity. I felt instead encouraged to be better myself. I accept that I will never do this perfectly because I'm just human, but I'm happy to try. Number four, say only what's necessary, what's true, and what's kind. When I thought and said negative things of others, the only ugly person was me. I learned this lesson the hard way. I had said some unkind words of someone, and everyone looked at me with disdain. I realized when I said unkind things and lacked compassion for others, only I looked stupid. In that moment, I vowed to myself, before I spoke, I would apply what Buddha taught. I would ask myself three questions. Is it necessary? Is it true? Is it kind? I decided the last one to be the most important. Number four, reading koans. Reading koans isn't the most important thing in Zen, I think, but it is a very useful tool. If you haven't heard of koans before, it's short Zen stories that hold meaning, are a riddle, or tell a story. Let me explain why I think koans are useful. Before, when I imagined monks, I imagined perfect holy people, enlightened beings among mortals. Koans are great because they helped me to see that even monks struggle as people. Being a good person takes a lifetime of practice. I felt inspired instead to know that even monks have to work at it like everyone else. Everyone struggles, everyone suffers. Koans not only entertain me with stories of monks' adventures, but I like the lessons that I learn. There is one koan that I liked a lot, and it's about human nature, anger, and blindness. I will just say the summary. A master is on his dying bed and he tells his best student, to take the books of all of the previous masters and cherish them. The student who does not think material things should be valued throws the books into the fire. The master yells, "What are you doing?" The student yells back, "What are you saying?" A koan can only be understood by yourself and whatever you take from it. But if you are still confused, let me offer you a bit of insight. Even monks can be stubborn and locked into their way of thinking is the best way. This can cause suffering and misunderstandings. The older monk just recited over and over again a dogma that the old scrolls should be cherished. And the student cared more about upholding his values than honoring his master's last dying wish. I like this koan for two reasons. One, everyone can be stubborn. And secondly, even monks fight. Well, number 6, you are complete just the way you are. When we are born with everything we need. Through society we learn we lack this and lack that. I think this is normal. Isn't that how society should function? Understanding this duality can help a bit. When we struggle, we can always return to this idea that we are complete just the way we are. In my youth, I thought I had to strive for all the things that I lacked. It was an endless struggle of wanting. It was kind of tiring and unfulfilling. But in the end, turns out, I'm complete just the way I am. I had stumbled by this idea by myself before when I come across the idea that I'm enough. I'm enough just means there is room for improvement if I wish it. I'm complete is a more suitable idea for me because I can enjoy peace knowing there is nothing wrong with me. And that is a very reassuring thought. It's nice for once to know that I don't need more money, fame, wealth to be enough. I'm already complete. Number 7, embrace change. I only like to change if it was for the better. I didn't want things to change if it was already just how I liked it. But in Zen, it advocates for embracing daily change. The seasons come and go whether I like it or not. And I could complain it's too cold in winter or too hot in summer. Or I can simply enjoy the snow in winter and play in the pool in summer. Change is going to happen anyway, so I'd rather have a graceful attitude about it. Thank you so much for having taken the time to watch my video. If you wish to support my channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button or the like button. If you wish to know more about my daily life, check out my Instagram at Mignon Cobra, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye! Everyone struggles like usual. It is what it is, what it is.